Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you learned something new from this video, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Please enable notifications so you can get instant updates from us going forward. I did report earlier this morning that I thought a stimulus deal was imminent and my position has not changed. Now, I've released some videos since then that show you the mechanics of how things are happening, because remember, it's not like somebody makes an announcement about stimulus or the fact that stimulus is imminent or anticipated, which is what House Speaker Pelosi has indicated, and then the next day the money is deposited in your bank account. Unfortunately, that's not how things work. This is a negotiation. The sides will still go back and forth, and then a law will be drafted, then it will be passed by the House, it will be passed by the Senate, and signed by the President. So this process can take anywhere from 5 days at the least to 7 or 8 days. And then after that, the Treasury starts to distribute money. The Treasury will probably take a week to distribute the money. So it'll be 2 weeks. Even if a stimulus agreement was struck today, it'll be 2 weeks before the money actually hits your bank account. So I just want my subscribers to understand, hang in there. I understand that emotions are high. I understand that for some of us, it's a very dire situation. We need quick cash now. We need money now. I get that. I respect that. I will never give you false hope on this channel, and I stand behind everything I've released so far in my videos. It's just that, sometimes the sequence of events is out of whack. Just because you see one video that says a stimulus deal is imminent, and then another video that talks about the specifics and that talks about potential roadblocks on the way there, doesn't mean that the situation has changed. Let's be patient. Let's understand that the wheels of government turn slowly, but they do indeed turn. On my channel, it's not about bashing President Trump or bashing House Speaker Pelosi. It's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. And so are you. We're all Americans first before we're Democrats and Republicans. So as far as the stimulus is concerned, again, there is a very, very, very high probability that stimulus will indeed happen. I am extremely confident. However, some things still need to be worked out, and there is still going to be a little bit of back and forth. There are still some Republican senators who oppose stimulus, but I do feel and you'll see based on the information I'm about to give you in this video, that something is very, very, very likely to happen, and I'm feeling extremely confident, and I'm saying that based on the news I'm giving you. I'm not saying that for any other reason. I will never give false hope on my channel. I am very hopeful, and if and when this happens, hey, you heard it here first. So that is where things stand right now. And I just want to be clear, House Speaker Pelosi and US Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin did indeed speak today at 1:30 p.m. East Coast time a few hours ago, and they spoke for approximately 65 minutes. Now, I want to be clear, House Speaker Pelosi has tested negative. The US Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin has also tested negative. Okay, so they discussed areas of disagreement, including those outlined in the Speaker's Dear Colleague letter. I did break down that letter. I did do a detailed analysis of that letter because there is a distance between both sides. Speaking of distance, one of the key areas of distance is the aid for state and local governments. The Democrats originally wanted $900 billion in the original HEROES Act. Then they wanted $436 billion in the updated version of the HEROES Act. The Republicans originally had right around $100 billion. They came up to $250 billion in the $1.62 trillion proposal that US Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin made to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi 24 hours ago. And by the way, that seems like a lifetime ago considering how many things have changed in the past 24 hours. Now, this is the important part. US Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin has indeed started speaking with Republican senators, and he started doing that last night, even before the world changed when we woke up this morning. And he's preparing Republicans to agree to more state and local aid, more than what they want. This is big news because Stephen Mnuchin knows that he may have a problem with many Republicans. So what he's doing now is to try and broker a deal that's close to $2 trillion. He's trying to get ahead of it by softening the blowback. So that is where things stand right now. In fact, on your screen, you'll see an article that appeared in the Washington Post that reads, House Speaker Pelosi anticipates reaching economic relief deal with Mnuchin, saying that the president's diagnosis changes the dynamic. I did do another detailed video where I talked about the diagnosis changing the dynamic, and House Speaker Pelosi specifically said this kind of changes the dynamic because here they see the reality of what we have been saying all along. This is a vicious virus. I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic. We always have to find a path. That is our responsibility to do so. And I believe that we will. So House Speaker Pelosi said, I believe we will find a path to an economic relief package. So I reported that earlier this morning. So the House Speaker did then communicate what she wanted. Now, an inexperienced individual will think, they said there's a stimulus. How come there's no stimulus? But an experienced negotiator will understand that when one side is on the cusp of a deal, they reinforce what they want in order to get what they want. And so that is exactly what is happening over here. What is happening here is that one side is on the verge of getting pretty much most, if not all, of what they wanted. And they are pushing until the other side can come closer to them. That is actually what is happening in real time right now. Other channels may not be able to understand it, may not be able to read between the lines, but that's why you come to this channel, so that I can give you some insight to help you understand the complexities of Washington, D.C. So where things stand right now is talks are indeed picking up steam, and House Speaker Pelosi released a statement today calling on airlines to delay the imminent furloughs of workers whose jobs are at risk after the payroll support included in the CARES Act expired on Wednesday this week, 48 hours ago. House Speaker Pelosi said a 6-month extension of the payroll support program would be included in any deal or passed as a standalone bill. This is a significant difference in her position. Now, for some of you who are like, oh, why are airlines getting support? Everybody should get support. Everybody should get support. Airlines, we should get stimulus checks, and there should be unemployment benefits, ideally for those who need it the most. So let's be clear about that. What House Speaker Pelosi is trying to do and what the Democrats are trying to do is make sure that, essentially everything they wanted is being achieved. Whether you agree with them or not, whether you're red or blue, doesn't really matter to me. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. So House Speaker Pelosi said that, the airline aid would be included. American Airlines and United Airlines this week announced they would be following a combined total of 32,000 employees because federal aid expired and the travel industry remains completely hammered by the pandemic. And House Speaker Pelosi did outline that unemployment insurance was an area of differentiation. So she's pushing for unemployment benefits, for more unemployment benefits than what the administration is offering. She's pushing for more money for state and local governments. She's pushing for tax credits for children and families and so she's pushing for all of these areas in her discussions with U.S. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. And she wrote, "We are expecting a response from the White House on these areas and others with more detail. In the meantime, we continue to work on the text to move quickly to facilitate an agreement." Now, there is an important sign that a deal might actually be emerging. U.S. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin told at least one Republican senator in a phone call last night that the agreement with House Speaker Pelosi would include a substantial amount of money for state and local governments. And this is a provision that numerous Republican senators have indeed opposed. And this call was interpreted as designed to convince or persuade conservatives to give more on state and local aid. These are the signs of a possible deal. These are the contours of a possible deal. And this is the beginning of the end game as far as stimulus negotiations are concerned for a second stimulus package. And Stephen Mnuchin did indeed hold calls with many GOP senators. And Stephen Mnuchin and U.S. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi did indeed meet in person on Wednesday, and since then they've been in touch over the phone. And again, I want to reiterate that both of them did indeed test negative. So I want to be clear, the House is supposed to recess today through the election, but lawmakers could be called back to vote on a deal if there is one. The Senate is already in recess until Monday. They will be back on Monday. So can things fall into place just like that? Yes, they can. Are we getting closer to a deal? Yes, we are. Will there actually be a deal and a stimulus package? I'm fairly confident that there will be. So again, you heard it here first. No false hope, no hype, because these are the wheels turning, and the wheels are turning slowly. $1,200 stimulus checks have been agreed to by both sides. And House Speaker Pelosi said they were nearing agreement on $75 billion for testing and tracing, with Democrats pushing for language to ensure a comprehensive testing strategy. You see, I believe House Speaker Pelosi is trying to get everything in writing, trying to make sure that everything is, exactly the way they want it, and then they'll sign and then they'll move quickly. So I think this is a strategy that's designed to not only for the Democrats to get what they want, but to have it all put in writing so that there is no ambiguity, so that it gets done. That has been the strategy of the Democrats. Whether you agree with it or not, that's up to you. But that is the strategy, and that strategy at this moment in time, it seems that strategy is working. We'll know for sure when a bill is actually signed. So White House officials have also wanted a deal, and President Trump has been pushing for higher numbers. And let's be clear, politically, the president's weak approval ratings, the signs of weakness in the US economy, and the president's diagnosis essentially put the administration in a position where they do want some good news. Also, US Treasury Secretary Mnuchin said today that he would be briefing the president later in the day to provide updates on the negotiations. He said parts of the economy need more help, specifically restaurants and other hard-hit industries. On Fox Business, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow sounded optimistic about the odds of a package and suggested it was essential to approve additional support for small business and the unemployed. So I believe we could see unemployment benefit extensions coming as well. Again, when that happens, if and when the stimulus happens, please remember that you heard it first on this channel. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. So Kudlow said, would you rather have zero or would you rather have everything you want? There has to be compromise in life. Now, by the way, when Kudlow was asked to comment on the September jobs report numbers, he said, and I quote, he would give them an A-. And he said that car sales were booming. I don't believe that the September jobs report gets an A-, because a number of people who've lost their jobs permanently, which indicates long-term damage to the economy, have actually been increasing. So just an FYI there. Also, this is very interesting. Mike Mulvaney said on Fox News that the administration puts Larry Kudlow on the news when they want the stock market to go up. He actually said that on Fox today. So I believe that Larry Kudlow is, is trying to create as much optimism as possible, and that is one of the administration strategies. I don't know whether Mike Mulvaney intended to divulge that, but he actually did say that on Fox this morning. So I thought that was very interesting. And basically, again, there is a political necessity, and some conservatives have expressed pessimism at doing a new deal. And Tim Phillips, who's the president of American for Prosperity, said, we are very concerned that any possible deal at this point. We are urging Congress, do not do another spending deal, because they felt that Congress has already spent enough money and no further action is needed because of the ballooning federal debt. 3 trillion, the CARES Act had a lot of money in it, and over $3 trillion. So many of the programs in the CARES Act have actually run their course, but a lot of tension has been created since. And that's it, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video once again. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. You can get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000. You'll get added to our SMS list. You can also get on our email list. You can go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. Get on our email list. Now you can opt out of our SMS or our email list at any moment in time that you want. Follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. You can get real-time breaking news alerts from us on Twitter. Now you can also bookmark our channel. That's youtube.com/ignition_time. That's youtube.com/ignition_time. This way you're not dependent on YouTube to send you notifications. You can just check out our channel, watch our videos at any moment in time. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. I release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. If you learned something new from this video, your vote of confidence in me and my team is you subscribing, you enabling notifications. Your vote of confidence in my team and you supporting our team is you clicking the like button. I would really appreciate you doing that. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.